The Jack Adams finalists came out today. Tort's not among them. I don't think that's a shock.
I was mildly surprised, but I wasn't shocked.
I thought it was completely dependent on him making the playoffs. Because, like, that's the case. Look at this team. This is not a playoff team, yet here they are. 12th worst team in the league? That's about what they were.
Yeah, I think there are a couple things going on here. Number one, to be clear, this is an award that is voted on not by the media writers, not voted on by the Professional Hockey Writers Association. So I didn't write on this one. I didn't vote on this one, I mean. It is voted on by the professional broadcasters. So, like, if you're going to blame somebody, blame Jim Jackson. There you go. But
blame Hartnell in that haircut.
Don't yell at Scott in his hard haircut. He's trying new
Come
things.
on.
Come
it's
on.
Funny.
Okay. Anyway, so number one, this is the Professional Broadcasters Association. So, yes, I absolutely think that there were some voters who looked at the Flyers and were like, if they make the playoffs, I'll vote for Torts. If they don't, I won't. And they didn't. But I do wonder if there were some voters who it wasn't just that they didn't make the playoffs. It was all of the final month zaniness from Torts. Like, if they would have just missed on the final day and Torts would have been like a normal human from March 1st on to the end of the year, I think he might have gotten a few more votes. But there were probably some broadcasts because, like, this was not just us. There were a lot of other people in the media that were very critical of, in particular, the John Tortorella scratching of Sean Couturier. I wonder if that cost them a few, where they're like, Torts did this crazy thing and it didn't work, and maybe it made things worse. Just saying.
I guess since they collapsed, you can actually, I think that builds his case if they make the playoffs. If it works, right?
Yeah, probably.
But since they collapsed, you can look at it and go, they were in a playoff spot that whole time, and he started doing crazy shit, and then they missed.
That's kind of my point.
You can actually blame him for a part of the collapse rather than, oh, man, they made it. He must have done something right. But I guess it goes either way then. Like, he pushed buttons, and if they work, he's a finalist. And if they don't, it's actually like it's on you. You're not a finalist because of this.
Exactly.
I will say, though, the three coaches who were nominated, I think, very much deserve it.
I think you could. I mean, Tochet's going to win it. He was going to win it even if Torts got nominated. Like, Tocchet was going to run away with this thing without a doubt. Brunette, I think Nashville in the second half of the year, really ever since the U2 concert thing.
That's like, when I look at it, who knows how big of a story that really was, but that's a coaching decision. And then you look at Tocchet, it's impressive what he did, no doubt. But you look at that team and go, look at all this high, they're also going to have the Norris finalist on this team. They're going to win awards outside of the coach. You just look at it I don't know. They were a borderline playoff team last year. They made a huge jump, but they have all this high-end talent. How much of it was the coach? I don't know. I look at Brunette and you go, well, look what happened. Yeah. He did something and they respond. Much like the Tortorella shit. It's like, man, that's kind of mean. And then it's, well, it worked.
I mean, I feel like most of our listeners know this story, especially the ones who are watching the Nashville series, because they've certainly. But basically what happened was, for those who don't know, this was in, I think, February, January or February. It was right around the All-Star break. And the team had tickets to see U2 at the Sphere in Vegas when they were out there for the Vegas game, I guess. And they played so badly in the couple games leading up to it that Brunette and the organization basically decided, no, you don't deserve to go to this trip.
You don't get to go.
And which is very funny.
It's hilarious.
But it's even funnier that the team then immediately started playing.
They won 18 in a row after that.
Wild.
No, it's hilarious. And then Bowness, you just look at what we expected, I think, from Winnipeg.
They did exceed expectations.
I was shocked when they were able to make the re-signings they did in the beginning. I figured that was just a sinking ship and dudes were going to go, see ya. I'm done with this. And then they come out and they're in the President's Trophy race all year. That's a hell of a season. Also, show me the Vezina winner, I'll show you a great coach.
So here's a question for you about this award, because I go back and forth on this one. Do you think the players, I am 100% of the opinion that we should vote on the player-specific awards after the regular season before the playoffs start. Do you think the coach and the GM awards should wait until after the playoffs are done? The voting?
No. they get the Stanley Cup. Like that's clearly you did a good job. You got the award everyone's going for. And maybe you won the regular season stuff too, but I just look at it like, listen, the playoffs are obviously the most important thing. The Stanley Cup is the prize. But Tampa, they just didn't get it done. Like the year they win every game of the season and then get swept in the first round, like do I now think John Cooper's a bad coach because he had 4 bad days? No, they won every game this year.
My view, I'm more open to, and they would never do it because it would be a logistical nightmare. I think the GM award should absolutely be voted on after the regular season because the regular season is a much better barometer, in my opinion,
of the team you built,
of the job the GM actually did, whereas the playoffs are a bit of a crapshoot. The coaching award, though, I really do go back and forth on because so much of a coach's job is about the game by game management.
And it's magnified so much. Like
exactly.
These are your actual choices. Like the goalie you start. When did you pull him? At what time? Like the matchups home and away. All of it is
it's where the coaching really does shine.
He actually has an effect on the series where game to game regular season, it's like, I don't know. You know who usually wins at the end? The team with the best record is the team with the most good players.
Yeah, exactly. So the coaching one, I go back and forth on. They'll never do it because they're never going to have us like vote on everything else. And then at the end, it's like, oh, by the way, here's all the ballots for coach of the year. But I do wonder sometimes if that award might be better served to be voted on at the end of the playoffs rather than at the end of the regular season.
Wouldn't it automatically go to the Cup winner?
That's one of the ways I go back.
He
on
did it.
It's like, oh yeah, every year it goes to the guy who
maybe
won.
You do it in the conference final.
Yeah.
Do you vote on it before game 4 of each series is when we they're gonna go at least 4. Before game 4, we'd have the vote on the coach of the year. Maybe that's the way. I don't know.
Maybe.
We all silly like the mayor.